So I recently dropped a video that proved to be pretty popular with you guys, and it was basically my Suga box. And I probably should have said to people that this is an Suga box that is primarily and only comprised of slabs, because in the comment section there were lots of comments and questions that people had for me about what it was that I showed. And here's one of those comments. And then there was this one. And I can't forget about this comment. And maybe one of my favorites right here. So hopefully everyone knows that I am just playing, but there were lots of really fantastic comments that people made about the first Suga box. Technically it was the second Suga box because I've already done two now, and this is actually going to be a third. This one is kind of sort of a video that I'm putting together to respond to all of those comments that you just looked at a few seconds ago. Technically comments, questions, and suggestions. So this is Suga Box Part 3 Raw Edition. Stay tuned for the video. So off to my side is another bin, and it is a bin that is labeled keys, and I don't know if that's an accurate description, but there are a lot of really awesome books that are contained in this bin, and should something go wrong, there are probably at least two Suga boxes that I'm attempting to grab, placing one under each one of my arms as I rush from my house. And this bin is all raw books. So I don't quite know the order of what these books are in, but we are going to dig into here, and I'm going to try to show you some of what is in my raw Suga box. I hope you guys like this video as much as some of the others that have been released. So this one, I think that this was actually an AOK from a subscriber. I can't remember who it was, but as I'm looking at this book, it is actually a really, really nice copy of Thanos number 15. This one is actually signed down at the bottom. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. I believe that that's actually Donnie Cates' signature right there. And like I said, I think a subscriber actually sent this to me. It is a really, really nice copy as I'm staring at it through the Mylar here, with a wonderful signature down on bottom. So if this was you that sent it to me, shout out to you. Thank you for hooking me up. It is still in the collection and is in the Suga box. Here's a little bit of some Silver Age goodness. This is Fantastic Four number 66. Really cool part of an Adam Warlock story arc that I kind of enjoyed. So I went and picked this one up well over a year ago because I enjoyed the story arc. I like Adam Warlock, and you can see some of the Adam Warlock books on the wall back behind me. So I wanted to make sure that I had that one. This one here is just a really, really nice higher grade copy of an awesome classic cover. It can benefit from a press, but the book itself is actually in solid shape. This is Fantastic Four number 112, and just a great cover featuring a classic battle between the Hulk and the Thing. I absolutely love this one. I think that there is a similar cover that I want to get featuring Namor. I'm hoping to track that one down at some point. And you guys know it's about kind of prioritizing some of your purchases, but that is one of the books that is kind of out there in my mind that I want to pick up. And one of the books that a lot of people were asking about in the comment section and also in direct messages that were sent to me was this book right here. This is Amazing Spider-Man #1. This is a huge part of my comic book collection. I absolutely love this book. It could benefit from some TLC, but it is a book that I am very pleased to have in the collection. It is 100% complete, but definitely needs some love, some cleaning, some pressing, and all that good stuff. And we're probably going to be on a little bit of stretch here right now with a couple of these books. So there is Amazing Spider-Man number 2 right there. I'm actually probably going to just stack these here to cycle through them a little bit easier. Here is issue number 4. Love this book, and you guys that have been watching the channel for some time will know that I actually drove 2 hours each way to go pick that book up from another former comic shop owner that is running a different kind of store a few hours away from me. So here is issue number 5 of Amazing Spider-Man, some Doctor Doom action right there. And these are all low number Amazing Spider-Man books. Here is an upgraded copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 6. I actually had a previous copy of this that had about a 1-inch tear near the lizard's foot. And when I went to go get issue number 4 from this guy, he had issue 6 there. His 6 was in better shape than mine. So I did not buy it at the time because I wanted to process through it. I ended up selling my copy of 6, adding a couple of bucks to it and getting a much nicer copy. So a really great upgrade for me. Here is issue number 7, featuring some classic Vulture. A lot of people ask about my favorite villain, if you will, for Spider-Man. The Vulture is one of my favorite villains for Amazing Spider-Man out of the Rogues Gallery. I definitely appreciate the challenge that he presents to Spidey. Here is a really gorgeous yellow cover. This is the first Torch battle against Spider-Man. Really cool issue here. Issue number 8 of Amazing Spider-Man. Here is issue number 9 right there. I actually picked this one up locally. Well, many of these honestly were picked up locally as well, but a really nice copy of this one. I hunted for a while to actually find a nice copy of issue number 9 and was finally able to do it. Here is issue number 10 featuring the Enforcers. Love this book. One of the great things about this particular book is that we actually find out why it is that J. Jonah Jameson actually hates Spider-Man, and we find it out in this issue. And to me, that makes issue number 10 a very special issue because I never really knew why he did not like Spider-Man. And in issue 10, it was revealed. So if you haven't read that one, get a digital copy. It's a great read. Who doesn't love the Enforcers, right? Here is issue number 11 featuring some Doc Ock right there, another fan favorite. Let's see what else we have in here. Here is issue number 12. There's a couple I'll probably skip over here at some point. Here is issue 13, First Green Goblin. Really cool book right there, of course. A lot of significance to that one. See what else we have in here. First Craven. This is issue number 15. Love that book. This is I call this the wide-waisted Spidey. You can see his waist is incredibly thick. But definitely a cool book. We're going to skip over a couple here. Rest assured that I do have a lot of these books. A couple of copies of Amazing Spider-Man 19 that are in here. Here is a personal favorite, issue number 20 of Amazing Spider-Man. Absolutely love this first Scorpion. Again, another one of my personal favorite villains for Amazing Spider-Man, or for Spider-Man, I should say, is that. I'm going to skip over a couple here. Trying to get to some nicer stuff here, maybe some special stuff. This is a lot of Amazing Spider-Man. Here is a really cool X-Men book. This is X-Men number 137. Really love this cover. Jean Grey and Cyclops, classic cover right there. That has a special place in the collection. Here, there's a couple of copies of this kind of spread out. Let me see if I can group them real quick. I have 2 copies of this. Submariner number 1, really cool book. I actually picked up a graded copy of this that I ended up giving away as part of the Go Collect giveaway. Probably should have bought 2 copies of it myself, because shortly after I picked it up and gave it away as part of the giveaway, the price on Submariner actually went up, and so I was able to snag 2 copies of this book. Still nice copies, but not as nice as that one that I actually gave away, to be completely honest. But what can you do? Somebody out there picked up a really, really nice book. 2 copies of Iron Man and Submariner. Part of the reason why I really like that last Submariner book that I just showed you is because if you look at the covers of this double book, the double, Iron Man and Submariner in the same book, and you look at issue 1 of the Submariner and you look at issue number 1 of Iron Man, they all have this wonderful little burst on there, and that is just a little piece of history that I absolutely love about those three different books. Here is a really cool book. This is X-Men number 6. You guys were able to see in my last Sugar Box video some low number X-Men. Here's issue number 6. This is a really cool first early appearance of Submariner in, of course, this title, but kind of sort of in general that I can actually put in the collection. So I really, really dig that book. A couple of rare books right here. These next couple I think are really, really rare books. Actually, let me put a couple of books away really quickly before we get ourselves in a little bit of a quandary. I'm gonna try to put some of these ASM back in here ever so gently. Actually, let me do it the right way. Sorry about that. So what happens when you're trying to do a massive haul of some nice books, you want to make sure you don't get too disorganized. So thank you guys for bearing with me. A couple of rare books here. This is Graphic Fantasy number 1. And a lot of people may never have seen this book before, may not know the significance of it. This particular book was one that was self-published by a young Eric Larson back in the day. I think he was about 19 years of age, got together with a couple of buddies, and he self-published a comic book with these guys up in Washington State. And what makes this book really cool is that it is actually the first appearance of the Savage Dragon. Back then, he was known as just the Dragon. And this book and all the others that he printed were actually individually numbered by hand, and he also autographed each one. This book is number 269 out of 300. How many are surviving? I don't think it's a whole lot, but definitely pleased to have that one in the collection. Same with issue number 2, Graphic Fantasy right here. At some point, these will be going off to CGC to be encapsulated. Here is issue number 3, and this is number 25 of 300. And do I have a number? Yep, I don't know the number on this one, but I believe that all of these are individually numbered and signed on the back. So definitely some really, really cool books. Rare books to have in the collection. Scrolling through to see what else is in here. Really, really cool. One of my favorite covers right here. This is a Batman. Batman written by Jim Starlin. Love some Jim Starlin writing. And this is a really cool book. This is Batman 423. Absolutely love this cover right here. And people were asking, what's up with DC? Well, there you go. There's one. Amazing Spider-Man 601, just a really cool Mary Jane cover right there. What else do we have in here? Some Black Cat magic right there. These are a couple of the J. Scott Campbell covers that I really enjoy. Like this one, 607. I have 2 copies of this, one raw, one graded. At some point, again, a lot of these will be sent into CGC. There is Thanos number 13. I actually have the entire run, I think, of Thanos. I may be missing a couple of the lower numbers. I actually started reading Thanos in the low numbers, maybe like around issue 5 or something like that. And I may have missed 1 or 2 of the early issues. But I have pretty much the entire run of Thanos, including, like you guys saw, one of those signed books. Here is the Silver Surfer Carnage merged entity, Amazing Spider-Man 431. Just a cool book to have in the collection. Here is a giant size Defenders number 3. This is the first Korvac. There's a couple of people out there that think that Korvac is the next big bad. So that could be a long-term speculative buy that I made. I want to say almost a year ago I picked that book up. Really cool book right here. This is actually the start of one of the largest, longest runs for a creative team in history. And it was, this is Ultimate's Spider-Man number 1. And I believe that this run, Bendis's run on this title with whoever his artist was, I can't remember, was like 112 or 117 issues or something like that. So I think that it is one of the longest runs in history for a creative team. There is a couple of Valiant books in here, I think. XO Man of War number 1 takes me right back to my childhood in the 90s with all of this Valiant stuff. But one of those really, really cool books that I love having in the collection. Here is New Gods number 3. This is the first appearance of the Black Racer. And again, a lot of people were asking what was going on with my DC stuff. I actually do have DC books. I just don't have a lot of graded DC books, but I do have some DC books, DC keys, like New Gods number 1. There you go. Really cool book right there. I was on a big Jack Kirby kick, well, probably a year and a half ago, and spent a lot of time researching Jack Kirby, researching the projects that he worked on, trying to go after a lot of those books that he worked on that were significant to him, because Jack Kirby is comics, and so I wanted to make sure that I had books that that he had worked on. So to that point, Commandy number 1. Last Boy on Earth. Again, lots of really just cool books, and in my mind, honestly, Jack Kirby kind of transcends Marvel and DC. I think he's bigger than that, but Demon 1 right there, cool book right there. Again, not crazy expensive books, but just really important and historically significant books. Mr. Miracle number 1. I actually really enjoy reading this story. I enjoyed this one. Didn't know what to expect. Did not know what a Miracle Man was, to be honest with you, but I enjoyed it. G.I. Joe number 1. This is the first Storm Shadow and the silent issue. Really, really high grade copy of this book. It's a nice copy of this one. Back to a little bit of some DC stuff. This is what is his name? It'll come to me. This is Showcase number 73. This is The Creeper. Again, not a crazy expensive book, but a significant book because of the artist Steve Ditko. That's what I was trying to. Really cool book right there. Some Creeper action. Let's see what else we have in here. First solo story for Thanos right there. Let's Logan's Run number 6. I have a cameo appearance of Gambit in here. What else do we have? Just nice. A couple of really cool books in here. I have a signed copy of what is this? This is Silver Surfer Black, Variant Virgin. Virgin Variant, and this one is actually signed by Scott Williams, the artist, down at the bottom. We have Transformers 1 in here. You guys know, if you saw the video on my channel, the significance of that one. Some G.I. Joe number 1 in here. I mean, this book is really like, this box is really like a combination of just a lot of different stuff. Harbinger 1 right there, cool book. 2 copies of this particular book. This is Batman Adventures number 12, First Harley Quinn. Have 2 copies of this. I want to say one is a graded 9.0 or 9.2, I can't recall, but that's also a really nice copy. A couple of really cool Silver Age books here. Fantastic Four, 48 right there. 49 is another 49. A couple of copies of that. Here is Eternal Warrior number 4. Cool book there with some significance to it. Bloodshot 1. Really nice copy of Bloodshot 1. I want to say I have like 4 or 5 copies of that book. Here is a really nice copy of Amazing Spider-Man 300 Raw. You guys saw one of my recent videos, you know I picked that up. Some Richard Rider, first appearance, Nova. And again, this is really like just a collection and assortment of books. These are books that I don't necessarily show off all the time. The first appearance, or the first time that Logan's name was actually used in a comic. This is X-Men number 103 right there. So again, just a book that has some significance to it because of that. This is X-Men number 108 is the first John Byrne. First X-Men book that John Byrne actually worked on. So really cool book. This book is one you probably won't even actually be able to see. This is Solar Man of War. This is the first appearance in the origin of the Eternal Warrior. This is issue 10. And again, just a black cover that may or may not actually show up on camera. It is actually a really, really clean copy. I don't know if I can get a 9/8 on that one, to be honest, because there are some defects. But Vengeance of Bane, number 1, cool book right there. See what else we have in it. I think we're getting pretty much to the end of this thing here. There's a couple of She-Hulk number 1s in here. New Mutants number 1. A couple of copies of this book right here. First appearance and origin of Amazing Spider-Man, or Spider-Man 2099. Because I don't want to skip it over and shortcut people, here you go. Here's some She-Hulk number 1s. 2 copies of that, both newsstand. So very, very cool stuff right there. So I think that's it. That's basically my raw sugar box, and hopefully this answers some of the questions that people had for me about where are the DC books. Can DC get some love? Where is Amazing Spider-Man 1? Where is Amazing Spider-Man? There you go. That's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, I want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment behind so we can mix it up in the comment section. And if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so. You can do it on Instagram, which is my preferred, at Regie Collects, or you can always email me at reggie@regiecollects.com. Take care.